Hey, it's Josh Doyle from Triple Threat Artists. Today we are going to be talking about delay, and we're going to be digging into some kind of advanced concepts in how to set up different types of delays. We're going to be talking about multi-mono versus just a regular stereo aux bus and what the pros and cons are to each one of those. So if that sounds like a bunch of gibberish right there, just stick with me. I think this is going to get really interesting and going to be a lot of fun. So check out this guitar that I've got recorded right here. Without any effects, without any delay, this is just dry. Okay, super simple, just dun, 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 right? And what I was thinking when I was working on this idea is that there are times where I want to be able to play something that maybe I just don't physically have the technique to do, right? So at this tempo, if I wanted it to be like a galloping rhythm on that part, it would be pretty fast. It would be dun 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 dun, right? And it's going to take a lot of fast technique to be able to pull that off, physically playing that on guitar. So I was thinking, there's multiple ways that you could go about kind of achieving that sound if you can't physically do it. But one of the ways I wanted to try was using delay. So if I've got just these notes happening on just 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to get that galloping sound. That rhythm is 1 and a 2 and a 3. So I need a delay that's going to hit on and a, right? So I've got 1 and then and a. 1 and a. Da, 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 da. Right? So what I've got here is I set up one delay channel or one aux bus, and I've got that called guitar delay 1. And I just set it to 0, and that's this right here. So if I solo this now, this is what it's going to sound like. And that's basically what I wanted, right? That was a bit too fast for me to play. So what I did was to achieve that sound, I pulled up Echo Boy by Sound Toys, and I set it to dual echo right down here. And on one of these, dual echo means that now it's got 2 echoes built into one interface, one plugin. And so on Echo 1, I've got the 8th note, and the Echo 2 is the dotted 8th note. And those together, the 8th note would just be the and then the dotted 8th note will be the So we're getting the and and make sure that when you set this up that your mix is all the way set to wet on this. Otherwise, you're going to be getting your actual beat 1 in there too. So we only want to be hearing the echo parts on this, and that's what the mix set to wet does. So we'll see that right here. Okay, so that's one way to just like get the core idea. The other thing I was kind of thinking though, as I was listening to this, is it sounds a little bit not natural in a way, and I was kind of missing the beat E. So, in a 16th note phrase, you've got 1 E and a, 2 E and a, and I thought it would be cool to have that third note in there, even if it was just kind of quiet, just really ghosting back there. So what I did is I set up a second guitar delay, right? Just like I did the first one. And on this one, I've set it to just be a 16th note. So that's just going to be the 1 E of the 1 E and a. And so all of those together, if I just play that, it'll sound like 1 E, 2 E, 3 E. So it'll sound like this. All right. And what I did there as we were playing through is I just turned up the output because I had it set kind of low because I didn't want it to be super prominent. I still wanted that gallop sound of the 1 and a 2 and a, but I wanted that E in there just to kind of be a little bridge between those two. So when I have that E ducked in there now with the rest of them, now it sounds like this. So that's 2 different delays happening. One delay is the dual handling the and then the second delay is just doing the E's. So this is one way to achieve that sound, right? We could either have just the 1 and then the and like this. Or we could have that E in there just a little bit to kind of make it sound more fluid. Okay, so this is where things kind of get interesting. There are versions of your plugins, when you choose a plugin, where you can choose between multi-channel plugin and multi-mono plugin, right? And maybe for some of you out there, you might not know what the difference is. And we are going to dig into that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this multi-mono track that I made right up here. And again, it's just an aux bus. And what I did is here, we're going to make these buses inactive and take this off. Now we're going to turn this on. Okay, so we're just dealing with our main guitar track and this one multi-mono aux bus, all right? And it's the aux bus is exactly the same as these two down here. We're just going to put a multi-mono plugin on it. Okay, so what I did is I went to create sends, and I made one mono send, a mono left, and a mono right. And we're just going to be sending one channel at a time instead of a stereo channel to this. So it's kind of, we're getting two copies of this one electric guitar phrase, two duplicate copies, just the left channel and then the right. But because this is a mono guitar, it's the exact same thing, just twice. So what we do to achieve this is we go, instead of choosing a multi-channel plugin, we choose a multi-mono plugin. And we go down here, and this might be off of your screen a little bit, but we would choose our Sound Toys, and we would choose our Echo Boy. And that brings up this one. And it looks exactly the same, except for right up here, you see a little L, and then this little infinity sign, which is a master link button, okay? And so if I toggle between the one that we were looking at, this one, it's not there, right? Because that's the multi-channel plugin version, and this is the multi-mono plugin version. And the cool thing about this is that this multi-mono actually has two copies, like two versions of this one plugin inside it. So you'll see here, I've got it set to an and a preset that I made. And then if I go to my right channel, it switches to the E preset that I made. So in this one plugin, without actually changing any instance of this plugin, we can access just the right channel of it and the left channel, and it lets us do presets to each side of the multi-mono. It's unique settings, so you can go through and just change your left side and just change your right. The one thing that you want to make sure is, at least in Pro Tools, the master link button is on by default, and that means that anything that you do to one side is going to copy over to the other. You know, if you change something in your left channel and then you toggle over to your right, it's just going to be the exact same. And we didn't want that, because I wanted to be able to control the and on the left channel and just have the E hitting on the right. So, because we've got those set up, it now sounds pretty similar to what we had before. Okay, so that's a little bit different. So let's go and troubleshoot that. Let's see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass the E's and just have it play the and which, as you can see here, you're able to actually bypass one channel, right? So I just bypassed my right channel, and I'm going to go over here to my left, and now let's listen. Okay, so it looks like my output is a little bit loud on this. Let's bring that back down. All right, so now let's go back over to our right and see what's happening there. Let's unbypass that. Okay, what was happening is that I had been playing with the panning earlier, and I had put everything in this multi-mono bus pretty close to the center. You see I've got it at 14 and 14. If we make this panned hard right and left, you'll hear it like this now. this is where the kind of maybe con comes in on doing it with the multi-mono version of this, is that because it's multi-mono and you're controlling your left channel and your right channel separately, that means that the delay for the and is going to be on one channel, and just the E is going to be on the other, and my main beat 1, 2, 3, and 4 from the main guitar track that was recorded is going to be in the center. So this is going to mean that the delay is going to be bouncing all over the place. It's going to be like 1 E and then and 1 E and 1 E and and it's going to be kind of bouncing all around. And the only way to, in this instance of what I'm trying to get to happen, to make that not sound like it's bouncing all over your ears, is to just bring it back to the center a little bit. And so that's why I had it on the, kind of closer to the 14. I couldn't have it just be straight up the middle here. Let's listen to that. So the pros for this multi-mono is that if you set this up, you can have it just on one track and be able to do some cool things by having individual control over just your left channel and just your right channel. But the cons are that, if you wanted one performance to sound like a cohesive thing, you're going to be limited a little bit on being able to do panning and what you can do with your stereo field. There are ways around it, and there are solutions to all this, but these are just things to consider. The multi-mono is very cool, especially with delays and different effects, that for one effect you could have two different settings for your left ear and your right ear. All right, so hopefully this opens up a whole new world for you guys to explore. All right, get out there and have some fun with it.